In this video, we'll show how the TabbedUI Smart Search feature operates and how to set the feature up. So you can see here we have a simple TabbedUI and the search feature has been turned on. So the search feature allows you to type in a filter value over here and filter the list of available buttons. So you can see if I go here and I type in CUST, then the list is filtered. And you can see that basically because there was only one matching record, we automatically opened up the grid to display the customers, and you can see that all of the customers are shown. However, the Smart Search feature allows you to use the value that was typed into the search box to determine which of these buttons to press, and then to also automatically pass properties to the grid that is opens. So you can see here, if I go here and I type in, say, LONDON and then press enter, the Smart Search is going to open up the customer grid showing only the customers in London. But if I go here and type in, say, Paris and then press enter, the Smart Search executes, opens up the customer grid and filters the customer grid on Paris. Whereas on the other hand, if I go here and type in, say, USA, then the Smart Search will determine that the UX component, which is this list over here, should be opened and only customers in the USA should be shown. So if I go here and type in, say, UK, then the Smart Search determines that it's the list that we want and it filters the list by UK. And if I go back here and type in, say, London, then you can see that basically there's, London, let's press enter. There we see basically the customers for London. So the way in which this was implemented is as follows. So you can see here we have the search feature enabled. We also have basically these two properties checked, which says that if the filtered list only has a single entry in it, then automatically execute that button. But here is the definition of the Smart Search. So we bring this up and you can see we've defined 3 different rules. So the way that Smart Search works is you define as many rules as you want, and then the rules get evaluated one at a time, and the first rule that evaluates to true gets executed. So if we go look at rule number 1, we can see here that rule number 1 is going to execute the customers button, and the definition of this rule is defined via XBasic. So you can see here what this rule does is it does a query against the customers, the Northwind database against the customer table, getting a count of all the records that match the value that was typed into the search string. So you can see here that's our SQL statement. And then this argument search is defined as e.search. So that's the value that was typed into the search string. And if this count is greater or equal to 1, then we're going to basically assume that the rule is true. So we set result.flag to true, and we're going to basically override the base filter and the arguments property of the function. So we're going to set the base filter to city equals and then an argument value, and we're going to define the argument using this syntax: the argument name, the argument type, and then the argument value. So e.search is the value that was typed into the search box. So if the count is greater than 0, then we're going to basically set the base filter and the arguments for this grid. On the other hand, if we go to rule number 2, so we can see that rule number 2 opens up the list component, and here our X basically says that if the rule doesn't have the word, if the search value does not have the word report in it, then assume that the rule is true, and then set the argument, the argument what country equal to the value that was typed into the search box. So that's how the rules are defined. And then of course, if we just go ahead and run it now. So if we type in, say, let's type in, say, London, and then press enter. So there, the first rule is true. And now we'll go here and type in France and press enter. So the first rule is not true, but the second rule is true, and you can see therefore that the list control is displayed and the records for France are shown. So the smart search feature allows you to both to quickly select one of the actions in the TabbedUI button list and simultaneously apply properties to the component that is opened up in the tab pane. Thank you very much for watching.